We found a sword under your bed. We luminoled the sword. There's blood trace on your sword. Okay?
I don't have a sword.
This is Christopher Chris Tomlinson, being accused of stabbing his wife, Nicole Thornhill's stepfather, Gerald Gerry Jensen, multiple times with a samurai sword, before slitting his throat and abandoning his body in a dumpster.
We have blood in the hallway. We have blood in the bathroom. We've got blood in the shop vac. All right? We know something happened to him in that house. You look guiltier than hell. You don't like him. He doesn't like you.
And doesn't like him either.
Right, well, that's true too. You and Nicole are going to be blamed for this.
Chris realizes the detectives have found the murder weapon, but what they're about to uncover flips the case on its head, revealing a chilling plot for multiple murders.
Had you ever planned something for your mom?
Yeah.
What was that?
To get rid of her.
On April 21st, 2008, Jerry's wife, Kristan Jensen, was discharged from a detox facility in Stuart, Florida. When Kristen arrived home, Gerry was gone. His phone, car keys, and vehicle sat untouched, signs that he hadn't left by choice. Concerned, she contacted the police, and authorities issued missing person posters for Gerry. 3 days later, on April 24th, 2008, Palm Beach County detectives made a grim discovery: a body in a landfill matching Gerry's description. A fingerprint analysis confirmed the worst. It was indeed Gerry Jensen. Investigators soon focused on Kristen's daughter, 21-year-old Nicole Thornhill, and her husband, 27-year-old Chris Tomlinson, after learning the couple had been living at the Jensen home. They immediately became the prime suspects of the case, and both were promptly brought in for questioning.
How are you today?
Tired.
Yeah? Had a long week, huh? Okay, Chris, I just have some basic questions for you.
Okay.
First off, though, do you like to watch TV?
A lot. Yes. I really like to. Speed Racer, and then there's another brand new one just coming out.
New Indiana Jones?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one right there. Because I'm just, Indiana Jones is my hero growing up.
He's a cool one.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy, no matter how old he gets.
He's just like Batman, you know, he makes all his own stuff.
There you go.
Do you, Chris, do you have ID with you?
Yeah.
All right, just so we...
I'm still California.
That's fine, as long as I can say for sure I know who I'm talking to. Because I know I asked you at the scene and you told me, but when we have an ID, it's always it always makes us feel better.
And we got two IDs.
Wow.
Well, as long as they both have the same name on it, we'll be all right.
Same name, same picture, that's a good thing.
Yeah. One's my ID and one's my driver's license.
Do you ever watch cop shows?
Occasionally. I don't really like them too much. I don't like the brutality sometimes. Don't get me wrong, some movies, you know, I like explosions, I just don't like brutality.
Right, okay. You guys ever watch that?
Oh, sometimes, yeah.
You know, because a lot of people think the cop shows are, you know, they're not...
CSI is not real, I know that.
Well, a lot of the stuff they do is real. You know,
Really?
technically they do things the way we do them, but I don't get DNA back in 45 minutes with the driver's license. And how come you have a California license? You're not from here?
No, I'm from California.
Huh?
Born and raised pretty much California.
Cool, how'd you end up here?
Long story short, we were attempting to move to Maine with about $3,500. Got to Colorado. We were going to Colorado to visit her sister.
Who?
Nicole's sister?
Nicole's sister.
Oh, okay.
And the hotel there took a lot of our money, so we ended up with about $1,500 left, I think it was, just a little bit more or less. And that got us the rest of the way to Florida.
The detective begins the interrogation by asking Chris if he enjoys TV as an attempt to put him at ease. By building trust and comfort, investigators increase the chances of eliciting a confession. Chris remains unusually calm for someone under interrogation, raising the question, is he confident he can outsmart the detectives, or simply detached from reality altogether? But what Chris doesn't realize is that Nicole will soon betray him, exposing the sinister couple's wicked scheme.
How long have you been in Florida?
Since, I guess it'd be 6 months, I think we figured out. 6 months today. Because we got here the day right after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I can never remember what day. I just know Thanksgiving is the 4th Thursday. I don't remember. 24th or 25th of November last year.
I don't remember either. Okay, so now, I want to ask you a couple questions about Jerry.
Okay.
Now that I understand Chris a little better here, I already spoke to Kristen, and she told me that she'd been in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I only want you to walk me through the last day that you guys saw Jerry, which would be Sunday, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Sunday? Yeah, Sunday.
Okay. Walk
Well,
me
that'd
through
be a
it.
very short day then, because
Okay.
the only time we saw him was in the morning. He cleaned out the guinea pig cage. Ferret does not shed, and our ferret does not attack things.
Okay.
We taught our ferret well.
Attack guinea pig, never heard
Yeah,
of that.
no, the guinea pig will bite anybody that tries to grab it.
Okay.
So we're trying to.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, finish
But-
your Sunday story.
Yeah. Pretty much after that, we were in the living room all day. I think maybe in the afternoon he was going to go to the store. But I don't. Oh no, he left. He left. But I don't know if he actually went to the store. He was gone for maybe like an hour or so, I think. And then after that, he pretty much stayed in the room all day.
Is that normal for him?
That's normal for both him and Kristen.
Okay, they stay in the room.
Staying in the room all day, unless she gets a burst of energy and she'll come out and clean for 3 days straight. That's irritating.
Chris seems to be overanalyzing the details of a recent event, as though he's carefully constructing a narrative. As he speaks, it becomes clear that life with Kristen and Jerry was anything but harmonious, hinting at a possible motive for murder. Unemployed and spending most of his time playing video games, resentment was growing around Chris. Jerry saw him as an irresponsible man who was failing to support Nicole and his own child. Kristen, too, grew resentful, describing Chris as a lazy, inconsiderate brat. The mounting tension in the household even contributed to Kristen's relapse into drug use, with the stress of Chris's presence cited as a key factor. But as the interrogation proceeds, more key details are about to come to the surface.
Okay.
And then after that, just before 11, I was in the bathroom.
11 morning or 11 at night?
Afternoon, at night.
Okay.
I was in the bathroom, doing my thing, and I overheard him talking on the phone. It was kind of muffled because it was through the wall. Talking on the phone, and it started getting louder and louder and louder, sounding like he was really pissed off at something. And because we had just got Kyle to sleep, we decided to go over to the library, Blake Library. And the library is closed at night, but their wireless internet is left on overnight. As long as we get out of there by 4:30, I think, we'll be fine. Because I think it's at 4:30 or 5, the sprinklers kick on.
Okay.
Not fun. We had that happen once. So we went there until about 1:30. These aren't exact times. This is just general, because I don't remember the exact. But we got back home at about 1:30, and the house was just looked like a tornado went right through it.
Can you describe it for me, Chris?
Oh, stuff was all over the place. The newspapers that I have, because I'll go out and just before they take the newspapers out of the free newspaper stands, I'll go collect a bunch of them so that we can shred it for free mouse bedding, because we have mice too.
Good, just a rodent population
Oh
there,
yeah,
huh?
we like mice and ferrets. But I had a bunch of those, like maybe 15. They were thrown all over the place. My laptop looked like it had been thrown across the room. The plug was taken apart. We used her laptop at the library. It has a bigger screen, so you can watch movies better on it. The whole house just looked just like that. You know, that's just the living room. The whole house, like in the kitchen, there was not napkins, but hand towels and washcloths all over the floor. Not the bedroom door. It's not the bedroom door. We moved the bedroom door to the bathroom. The bathroom door was the one that was broken.
Okay, why did you move the door?
Because we need a bathroom door.
Okay.
And,
Okay, that's a logical thing.
Yeah, having my son in the house, having nurses come to the house, they're going to wonder why we don't have a bathroom door for one. And because it's not just me and my fiance in the house, you know, we want that
Two other
privacy.
adults, right?
Mother-in-law's in the house. Your mother-in-law, or
Yeah.
soon-to-be mother-in-law's in the house.
Yeah, so we wanted that privacy, so I went ahead and just moved the bathroom door over to, or the bedroom door over to the bathroom and threw the bathroom door in the garbage. Because if I could show you on this door,
Sure.
it was split like right about here, like almost in half.
What was the make of the door? Was it an
Hollow.
cheap interior wooden door?
Really cheap, like
Okay.
it was like cardboard mesh through
Right.
it. That's how I got this cut,
Mm-hmm.
because I was moving it and it slipped and I tried to grab it again and I cut my hand.
All right. So even a kid could probably break through it or something.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I broke into a door just like that, just pushing on it on accident.
Okay.
So it's a really flimsy door, you know. He could have fallen into it. He's really unstable. He fell off a ladder, God, when was it? Almost a year ago, probably. And it screwed up his nerve endings, so he walks with kind of a limp and a wobble. And he kind of stumbles when he walks sometimes, so he could easily just stumbled into the door and just broke it. I mean, it wouldn't have taken that much to break a door like that.
Nicole and Chris claim Gerry had an argument over a phone call before leaving, but call records show no such details, contradicting their story. Blind to the ongoing investigation and the evidence which detectives have acquired so far, Chris keeps spinning lies. He digs himself deeper into a hole that becomes too deep for him to climb back from.
Uh,
Was there any blood on the door?
Other than what came from my hand, I didn't see anything. I mean, there could have been, but had it have dried, it was,
Because the door's still brown, dark brown
Yeah.
afterwards. Okay.
yeah. So if there was any and it had dried, it would, I'm pretty sure, blended in with the door. I've seen plenty of dried blood, my own,
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, I know what color it turns. It would have probably blended in pretty good with that door. So unless I was actively looking for it, I wouldn't have noticed it.
Okay. So what did you guys do?
Well, I started cleaning the house. After that, I mean, I'm allergic to bleach and ammonia. I've been allergic to it since I was 13. It just gives me a rash. But our bathroom needed like really deep cleaning anyway, so my wife went ahead and started cleaning the hell out of the bathroom, and I went and straightened everything else back up. And
What was wrong that it needed a deep cleaning with bleach?
with my son in the house, you know, we want to make sure there's no germs whatsoever. We don't want him getting sick.
Mhm.
So we usually use bleach. We don't use any ammonia or anything. But
Okay. Do you dilute it at all?
50%, 50-50 water and bleach.
Okay.
Because if it's any stronger than that, I have to leave the house because the smell of it.
I think you'd have to
So
leave
most
the
people
entire
leave the
neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think everybody that lives down there around you would have to leave
Yeah.
deep clean with any stronger solution than that. Was the truck there?
Yeah, the truck was there. Everything, as far as we knew, nothing was missing, you know, except for Gerry was gone.
Was the front door locked when you got back?
Yeah, bottom lock.
Okay.
What do you mean bottom lock?
Not the deadbolt, but the handle.
Doorknob?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
that's the one we have on the bottom, the deadbolt on top.
Okay.
When you guys left to go to the library, did you lock the door behind you?
We always do,
The deadbolt or just the bottom lock?
just the bottom lock.
Okay.
Because we don't like having to fumble in the dark to hit the deadbolt either.
Understand.
Okay. I'm blaming you. Right, the front door didn't look like it had been tampered with or anything.
No,
Okay.
it's got dings in it, but those are old.
Right. Okay.
Didn't look like it was kicked in or anything.
Okay.
Just looked like, you know, honestly, it looked like he got really pissed off because he's been really pissed off, you know, constantly since I've been there. You know, he's been having a really pissy attitude towards me because he can't smoke his cigarettes in the living room now. He's got to stay in the bedroom because it's not his house, it's Kristen's house, and she's the one that made that rule. And, you know, ever since then, he's just been real pain in the, you know. Right? And I guess he just finally got pushed. Whoever was talking to him on the phone about whatever he was talking about, just finally pushed him to get pissed off. And he, you know, as I was talking to the officer or detective
Mm-hmm.
in the other room, you know, he probably just went to a bar and met up with some girl. He's done it before. Well, not when we were around, but he's done it before while being with Kristen. And just left. I mean, as I told the detective in the other room, you know, 3 times in my life, I've left everything behind just to start a new life.
Chris maintains a calm, almost innocent demeanor, strikingly at odds with the cruelty of the crime he's accused of. But it won't be long before detectives uncover what transformed this seemingly ordinary man into a monster. Chris unintentionally exposes a key detail to detectives by mentioning bleach, a common tool used by killers to eliminate blood and evidence. This slip did little to help his case, revealing that he isn't as sharp as he thinks, or careful enough to keep his story clean. But what he's about to reveal is even darker.
Nicole isn't too fond of her mom.
Thanks for listening, Mom. Why is she not too fond of her mom?
Because her mom suffers from paranoia schizophrenia, and her mom either likes me or hates me and can't make up her mind. And then she'll start yelling that, one dish was not washed and say that I'm the worst person in the world. Just because
I'm just a mom.
I don't even do the dishes. I work, we have this whole thing. I work, so I pay some of the bills. They do all the cleaning. Okay. I'll help my wife clean, especially now that Kyle's here.
No, because I noticed she's wearing a matching ring.
Half and half. We haven't legally been married, but through our religion we've been married. So.
What religion is that?
Wicca.
Okay.
So, if we were.
Did you get married in a Wiccan ceremony?
Yeah. In fact, I was the one that actually performed the ceremony. It's just a 2-person ceremony.
Are you like a priest?
I'm a high priest.
Oh, no kidding. Cool. Don't understand it. Don't know much about it, but I heard of it. I know there's a group in Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get back to the matter.
Well, thank you for that little subtext into Wiccan. I feel like we're much more involved.
That's right. I learn things every day.
That's us.
I have no problem explaining that.
Let me go back to my notes here. All right, Nicole started cleaning the bathroom with bleach, and then what did you guys do? Now, this would have been Sunday.
Why didn't you call the police? Didn't you think something happened or someone broke in? The place was,
no.
At least by your opinion, it was ransacked. And they said there was things missing out of Jerry's room.
Well, I don't know if there was anything missing out of Jerry's room. That's the thing.
Okay.
Okay.
We kind of cleaned up. I don't know what they have in their room. There was nothing missing out of our room. There was nothing missing out of the living room.
Has he ever torn the place up like that before?
No, but he has beat Kristen, so that's why I didn't think anything about it.
If she's not there, then he takes his aggravation up on something else?
Pretty much. I mean, typical testosterone things, I understand. Take it out on what you can.
Okay. So now this is like early Monday morning, though, because you guys get home like around 1:30.
Yeah, we got done cleaning at about 5 or 6, I think. And then we went for a small walk because the house smelled like bleach still anyway. And right after that, we had breakfast, and I think we had an 8:30. I think we left at 8:30 for a 9 o'clock appointment, or a 9:30 appointment. We walked. It was right at the health department.
Okay.
And we went for WIC, so we can get her WIC checks. And then we had another appointment at, it was supposed to be 1:15. We also walked to that one.
Back at the health department?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one we didn't get into until almost 2:30 or 3 almost. But that one went really quick. And then right after that, we went to go eat lunch.
Okay.
Where'd you go for lunch?
We went to Treasure Coast Mall, and what did we have? Did we have pizza? I think we had pizza.
Okay. Now, in the meantime, as I understand, Kristen's still down at the VA hospital, correct?
Yeah, she actually called us quite a few times trying to say she was ready to go and trying to get picked up, but, seeing as to how we had several different appointments to go to, pretty much the first and second phone call she called us on, she hung up on. We couldn't even sit and tell her that Jared was gone. She started getting pissed off like she always does and hung up the phone.
Nicole and Chris practiced Wiccan beliefs, a lifestyle that only deepened the tension with Jerry. His lack of understanding and respect for their faith often sparked conflict within the family. Chris claimed to be a Wiccan high priest and saw people's auras. He believed those with bad auras, particularly drug users, had no place near his child. Chris carefully crafts his story, avoiding any mention of Jerry's murder while trying to paint himself in a positive light. But his own words and nervous body language betray what he was so desperate to hide beneath that polished facade.
Couldn't even tell her, hey, Jerry left. He can't come pick you up.
Oh, that's what she wanted, to know where Jerry was?
Yeah, she wanted somebody to come pick her up, and I couldn't do it because...
Well, did you have to work that day, too?
No, it's not like... I mean, I could have done it after we had done the appointments, but that would have been like...
Well, obviously much later in the day.
Yeah, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and she was calling in the morning, and I was like, look, we got... I'm pretty sure Nicole explained it. We have, several appointments we had to go to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we couldn't just drive down to wherever it was. I didn't even know where the VA hospital is. Couldn't just drive down there. It's an hour, and then Nicole came in and kept waking me up. I need your help because she's not listening to me again. Like, fine, okay.
Were they bickering?
No, she was just trying to tell her what's going on and
What was Kristen's reaction whenever you came out?
going psychotically insane, trying to figure out where Gerry was.
Okay.
And
Where do you think he went?
the bar.
You think he's just getting drunk somewhere?
Probably did, and then he went home with some other woman. He's done that before, as I understand,
Mm-hmm.
while being married to Kristen.
The last time you saw Gerry, what was he wearing? Do you remember?
Yeah, a pair of blue jeans and a red flannel t-shirt that he usually, or not t-shirt, was it a t-shirt? It was a red flannel shirt that he
Okay.
usually wears. It's quieter and cooler than being out in the day.
Are you upset that he's gone?
A little. You know, I'm upset because it's upsetting Kristen. You know, I have nothing against Kristen, even though she acts kind of strange sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's upsetting.
You don't miss him personally.
He was, so really no. I mean, but do I miss the fact that, you know, he was around and she wasn't going completely psychotic? Yeah.
How
But
was
I
he?
mean, it's just his whole demeanor. Just since I got there in November, you know, just like snobbish. And I try to say something, I try to give him my hand with anything, and just be about it and say, no, I don't need you. Not necessarily like that, but that's pretty much the context of what I got. You know, and then he'd sit there and start arguing, you know. I like to cook a lot, but I don't cook bland food. I add a lot of seasonings to it. He'll argue with me about the fact that I put seasoning on my food. And it's not the way it tastes, it's just the way it smells.
Okay.
Like, you can't just go outside to get away from the smell of seasonings, because if he eats it, he says it's good. But the seasoning upsets him when he smells it, because it smells to him like it's burning. You know, he just argues over the smallest things.
Detectives press Chris about the last time he saw Gerry, even slipping in a trick question about what Gerry was wearing, hoping to match it with what the body was found wearing. They also ask if Chris believes Gerry will return, despite knowing he's already dead, giving him a subtle chance to come clean. But Chris doubles down, claiming Gerry often left without warning and likely wouldn't return, a desperate attempt to keep his story intact. Chris attempts to justify his actions against Gerry, showing no remorse. But soon, detectives outmaneuver him, peeling the layers of his deceit, leading to a chilling confession.
What's your gut feeling? Is he alive or is he dead?
Honestly, I only really get a gut feeling if I've known somebody well enough, and I don't know him well enough.
Okay.
To me, it seems like he just left. You know, he could be somewhere hacked. You know, I don't feel like he's dead, but I don't feel like he's around anymore. You know, it's kind of like, you know, the last time I had this kind
You
of...
don't expect him to come back?
Yeah, it's an iffy feeling. The last time I had this feeling was with my dad, who I barely knew. You know, he left the Christmas I was 7. Like, that was the last time we saw him. We saw him for about 3 days, and then he was gone. And I had this kind of iffy feeling, you know. I was like, I'm not sure if he's coming back, but, you know, he could. And that's just how I'm feeling right now. It's kind of what I'm...
You think Gerry could come back now?
Maybe, I mean, if he's finally done being pissed off about everything. Unless he really did leave to go start a new life somewhere. To bring with me. I wouldn't say baggage. Not baggage, but I'd have a little more to bring with me. Oh, wait, I guess you could say I did it 4 times, because I left California with her. So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, what would you say if we tell you he's dead? I'm verifying he's dead. He was found in a landfill in Palm Beach County. How does that make you feel?
Horrible. I don't like it when people die, especially if I know them.
He's dead in the landfill.
Yep.
So this investigation is not a missing person investigation anymore. It's a homicide investigation.
That really sucks.
Yep, it does. So, remember I told you at the house, and I told you and Nicole and Kristen that we're going to look at the family members first, because that's what we do, and then we back up and we go to the outside. So that's why Kristen, Nicole, and you were here being interviewed first, and then we go looking outside.
The autopsy revealed Gerry had suffered multiple stab wounds and a fatal slash to the throat, a crime that seemed far beyond what Chris appeared capable of. But detectives were quickly closing in on what could have driven him to such violence.
I don't wish anybody dead, even if they are the biggest in the world.
Okay. Did you do anything to him?
No.
All right.
The only thing I'd ever done to him was argue. I mean, we've gotten pretty intense in arguments before, to the point where I felt like I wanted to hit him, but I never did.
You
Okay.
have no idea how he got in that landfill?
No.
This is his cell phone records. We've already subpoenaed them. We already have them. He was last on his phone Sunday at 6:30 in the evening. He was not on his cell phone at 11 o'clock at night, like you said he was. And like Nicole said he was. He's not. We know he's not. Okay? You tell us that the house is all torn apart. You cleaned everything up. So from where I sit, we suspect you and Nicole. The mother's not there. Do you understand where I'm coming from, how it looks from my seat looking in?
Yeah.
You look guilty, okay? Now, you told Detective you've seen the CSI shows before.
Yeah.
Do you know what luminol is?
No.
Luminol is what forensic detectives use to find evidence of blood that's been washed away. You can wash blood all you want. Use bleach, and it's going to leave behind. There could be blood in these walls, and you can't see it. The luminol brings it out. Okay? We're there now. We've been there for hours. Since you left, we've been there. Okay? We have blood in the hallway. We have blood in the bathroom. We've got blood in the shop vac. All right? We know something happened to him in that house. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you know as much as we do. You and Nicole are there. Your story isn't matching up. Either change your story or you're going to continue to tell me you don't know what happened, but you got to know something.
Chris realizes he may have said too much when mentioning the bleach. Detectives pick up on it, and now they make it clear that he's indeed their prime suspect. Chris had served in the Army and struggled with post-traumatic stress disorder, which may have made him more vulnerable to snapping under pressure, especially when coupled with Nicole's manipulation.
Well, I know he was talking to somebody.
Not at 11 o'clock at night he wasn't. That's there. We verified that. Okay?
Okay.
We found a sword under your bed. We luminoled the sword. There's blood trace on your sword. Okay?
I don't have a sword.
There's a sword under your bed.
All I collect is daggers.
Okay, well, I'm just going by what they told me from the scene. Okay? There's some kind of cutting instrument, a knife or a big knife or a sword. I'm going by what they called me. Under the bed, it's got trace amounts of blood on it. Okay, now that'll go to the lab and that DNA will come back and it's going to match. I'm confident it'll match Jerry's. Okay? Initially, we were told that it was the bedroom door that was kicked in. And then today it was the bathroom and we're changing doors. Fine. Okay? I've got too many inconsistencies here, Chris.
Well, I told Kristen that it was the bathroom door.
All right. Well, the police, since Monday have been kind of involved in this. What the point I'm trying to get to you is that right now, you look guiltier than hell. Guiltier than hell. You don't like him. He doesn't like you.
Nicole
And
doesn't like him either.
right, well, that's true too. And he says something to piss you off, you knock him over the head, you hit him, I don't know. All right? But he's dead in a landfill. Okay? And they can tell us that garbage came from Martin County. They can tell us what geographic area the dumpster came from. Astor Wood is in that geographic area. And what this is called is a circumstantial evidence. And it is so building up right now that Gerry ended up in that dumpster and then ended up in a landfill and then by the grace of God was found by the guys moving garbage around. Okay? Now I know what killed him. They've told us what killed him. Okay? He got his throat and he's stabbed a couple times too. We have a knife, a dagger, a sword, whatever, under your bed with trace amounts of blood. We have a crime scene that's been cleaned up. It's been cleaned up, but we can see it. We know. All right? We have a shop vac in the house, okay? You and Nicole are going to be blamed for this, all right? If something happened and it was self-defense or you snapped, you know, you've been a good person your whole life and you told us all about your religion, okay, and things happen. People don't mean for things to happen, but they do, okay?
Or Nicole snapped. She doesn't like him. She's not happy with her mother. You've got a new baby in the house. She's not getting any sleep. But
Tell me what happened.
I'm telling you what I know.
Nicole and Chris believed their child shouldn't grow up in a home surrounded by drugs, deeming Gerry and Kristen unfit to be around the baby. However, Chris keeps denying any wrongdoing, but the truth is unavoidable. Soon, detectives will shift their attention to Nicole's version of events, uncovering a far more sinister motive.
I don't know how you feel about, you know, your conscience or getting stuff, you know, off of your chest. There's a couple ways this can be presented to a jury. This can be presented to a jury as you're a cold-blooded killer, okay? Or it can be presented to the jury in a self-defense. I don't know what happened. Something happened there, and he was killed in that apartment. There's no question. And we're going to be able to prove that. I told you everything I know, okay? And all the evidence points back to you and points back to Nicole, all right? How can you explain that?
Because we're the only two in the
Right, but you can't explain it, okay? I believe you stabbed him. You put him in the dumpster, and he was found. That's what we believe happened. And I feel very comfortable that we can prove that, all right? I feel very comfortable we can prove it. Now, how it's portrayed is up to you. I'd like to know what your side of the story is. Why did you do it? Or why did she do it?
Chris, what happened?
Can I get some water?
Sure.
I had nothing to do with it,
Nothing at all?
except for cleaning up.
Okay. What happened?
There you go, pal. Is that working?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nicole had nothing to do with it, he tells me.
Okay.
What did you have to do with it, Chris?
He was getting pissed off,
Who's getting pissed off?
Gerry.
Okay. About what?
I don't know. He's pissed off over everything, it seems, these days.
Okay, well, what brought us to the point of Gerry ending up in a landfill?
I just didn't even think, I just reacted.
Did he do or say something to you to make you react?
He tried to attack me. He tried to attack her.
When did this happen?
Early morning.
Sunday or Monday?
Monday.
About what time?
Like 5 or 6.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. So the house was never in disarray
It was, but, I mean,
as a result of what?
I don't know, you know, we left and came back and did a bunch of cleaning. We really did do that. We went to the library, 11 to 1:30-ish, came back, and I'm assuming he did get pissed off.
Okay.
You know.
But whatever happened to him happened later that morning.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, well, he described you said he's coming out to, describe what happened.
Well, I'm in the kitchen, and I go to the bedroom. I was in the kitchen getting breakfast. Go to the bedroom, and he starts coming out of the room and yelling. And every time, like ever since I was a kid, I've had a problem with somebody yelling at me. I would instinctively grab anything around me if I had to fight. I don't like to fight. I don't like brutality. If I can get out, I can. But being in a room like that, you're cornered.
Mm-hmm.
Chris pauses to craft a story painting himself as the victim. But this attempt of his is about to fall massively short, and what he's about to reveal is nothing short of monstrous.
instinctively, I just grabbed the nearest thing to me. You know,
What was it?
double-sided sword.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it out because I was cleaning it. Because, I mean, if you look at it, it's got tree sap or something old. I was trying to get off.
How big a sword is it?
Combined, it's about this tall.
Use the table. How long on the table from that wall?
Let's see, each piece would be like, maybe the whole length of the table. Nope, about here.
Okay.
Well, it's really not that long. The sheath acts as you can keep it on one side and it kind of turns it into a spear, so it's a multi-use weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Given to me by my brother because he found it online. He's like, he knows my fascination with weapons.
Okay. So you were in the kitchen when this happened?
No, I was in the living room.
Okay.
I moved from the kitchen getting my breakfast into the bedroom.
Okay.
And he came out and started yelling like he was ready to fight, which has happened more than once. I instinctively grabbed the weapon and, you know, he lunged at me and I kicked him back into the hallway and I tried to run out the door and he grabbed me and just, I lost it.
Where did he grab you at?
Right around my neck.
Okay, you lost it. Just, what do you mean? You got to describe that for us.
I just turned around and tried to break out of it and ended up stabbing him. I didn't mean to stab him.
Where'd you stab him?
Right through here. And then after that, like, I just saw red and kept going.
You stabbed him multiple times?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't even remember. It just happened so fast.
Where do you think?
A couple more in the lung, probably in the throat, so he couldn't say anything. I don't know.
Where did this occur exactly in the house? How did the bathroom door break?
Him falling backwards into it.
Okay.
Where's Nicole at?
Walking. Kyle has a problem sleeping, so we usually take him out for a walk because the house is too smoky.
So she wasn't at home? Okay, then what happened? He fell into the bathroom?
After that, I just left. I had a little bit of blood on my hands, and I just cleaned it off.
Okay, and then you come back?
And then we just clean it up.
Okay, how did you clean it up? What did you do with him?
First, I wrapped him in a tarp, and then I wrapped him in a comforter off the bedroom bed.
Where'd you get the tarp?
That was mine. I've had that for quite a while.
What kind of tarp?
It's, I don't know what kind. It's silver on one side, brown on the other. It's
Like a camping tarp, or it goes over a car tarp, or?
it's a big square tarp, so I guess it'd be a storage.
Okay, I understand.
tarp.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then what'd you do with him?
Tossed him in the dumpster.
How'd you get him there?
Used the truck.
Okay, how'd you get the truck to the door?
Well, if you look in front of the truck, it kind of doesn't have that little stopper there. So you just turn around and back in. That's how they wash the truck.
Okay.
With Chris now confessing, detectives push for more details before turning to Nicole, who's about to reveal an even darker truth.
So you put him in the back of the truck and then you drove to the dumpster?
Yeah.
Which dumpster? The one that's right by...
The one I told you guys about,
Okay,
where I tossed the door in.
right. All right. Did anything else go in the dumpster?
The stuff that we used to clean up.
Okay, how long did it take you to clean up?
An hour maybe.
What did you tell Nicole?
Exactly what I'm telling you guys right now.
Okay, how did she react?
She almost passed out, but she didn't like him as much as I didn't like him because he was constantly just argumentative and just complete towards me.
All right, this was a So this was a spur-of-the-moment self-defense thing?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't plan this?
No. I don't plan on killing people. I really don't like brutality. If I see in cops, I'll change the channel. You know, I like watching cops. I like the car chases.
Mm-hmm.
Car chases are cool. You know, I like watching cars going fast and stuff like that. But the minute I see any type of fighting or violence, I've had too much of that growing up already. I don't like it.
When he grabbed you around the neck, how did he grab you? Like a chokehold or?
No, it was just one hand right around my neck is still sore right here.
Okay.
So it's from
It didn't leave a bruise. It's just
Yeah.
It was from behind then?
yeah. It was from behind. He grabbed me and I pushed him and then reacted. I mean, I'm from the military. I'm not trained to think. I'm trained to react.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to hurt him. You know, I just had something in my hand.
Why didn't you call us and tell us and report it just the way you're telling us now?
Because I was afraid I'd go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. I just have a son. I'm probably going to go to jail anyway. I just didn't want to go to jail.
Right. And then you put the sword under your bed?
Yeah, we cleaned it off. We were going to go get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. Did you take anything that belonged to Gerry?
Me? No.
Did Nicole take anything that belonged to Gerry? His credit cards, his debit card,
No,
checks?
we took his ID and stuff. His IDs and his bank cards.
Did you use them?
No.
Where'd you put them?
They're underneath the back seat of the car. They weren't
Which car?
the Toyota.
Okay, why'd you put them there?
Well, there's a spur of the moment thing that just pops into my head. If they found his wallet, you know, at least we'd have those for Kristen so she can get into his bank account still.
Okay, where's his wallet?
I don't know where his wallet is.
Detectives conclude their interrogation with Chris and turn to his accomplice, Nicole, who unveils a disturbing truth, and her chilling confession reveals a dark motive, proving that the crime was premeditated.
Did he tell you what he did?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He stabbed Gerry.
When we spoke with Chris, he told us some things that you didn't tell us, so I wanted to talk with you about those things.
Okay.
Okay, now, I know you had told us that the two of you had been planning something for Gerry. Had you ever planned something for your mom?
Yeah.
What was that?
Pretty much the same thing.
The same thing how?
To get rid of her.
Okay, why'd you want to get rid of her?
I can't stand her anymore.
Okay, how were you going to do that?
I wanted to do the sleeping pills because she had just
Did you give her sleeping pills?
he bought them and I don't know if he put them in anything yet or not.
When did he buy them?
2 nights ago, I think. I don't remember.
2 nights ago? But the incident happened on Monday.
Yeah.
So in the last couple of days, he's tried. Okay. But and how did you guys go about doing that?
We went to Walmart and he bought those weird generic sleeping pills.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had a mortar and pestle and he crushed them up and put them into a little vial.
Mm-hmm. What did he put it into? What kind of drink?
I I don't know, he mentioned something about either putting it in her milk because she drinks a different milk, or her soda because she drinks Coke.
The 2% milk?
Mm-hmm.
You guys don't drink that?
No,
So it might be in it right now.
It might, I don't know if he put it in or not.
But had you tried it with Gerry before and it didn't work? He told us you guys had been doing it for a while with your mom and Gerry, and they would either stop drinking it or it wasn't working.
He tried it once. He put it in my mom's juice because we thought that there was still tequila in the house, but she ended up throwing it away.
Okay, how long ago was that?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So you guys never saw an effect when you put the pills in her drinks?
Mm-hmm.
Never, didn't make them any sleepy, no difference at all?
Nothing happened.
How many pills were crushed up?
I don't know if he put the entire thing, but the pack said it came with 24 pills.
Okay, and you don't know how many he used?
No.
Nicole proposed poisoning her parents to stage an apparent overdose, proving the crime was premeditated. Chris had bought generic sleeping pills from Walmart, which they had crushed and mixed into a gallon of milk and a bottle of tequila. However, forensic analysis later revealed that the dosage wasn't enough to be fatal.
I mean, did you find the whole bottle in the garbage? Or
No, they were just those little punch-out tablets.
like blister packs? Okay, and were the whole thing empty?
I think so. I just saw little bits and pieces in the garbage.
Okay, is that garbage we found in the dumpster today? We found a whole bunch of pill bottles and different things in the garbage today. Would those have gone in the garbage today?
The pill bottles I don't know about.
But the blister packs, the sleep aids maybe?
Probably.
Okay. Alright, so you two tried using sleeping pills initially to get rid of Gerry and your mom, and that didn't work. And then so you went to the other one. Were you planning to do the same thing to your mother? You know, with a sword? No?
Just with the sleeping pills.
Just with the sleeping pills. And that's because, you know, she's got a problem and it would probably look like an overdose? Okay. You're going to go to jail, okay? You're being charged with first-degree murder, all right? Chris is already there. He's being charged with the same thing, all right? There's going to be a grand jury hearing, and it's got to be less than 21 days. A grand jury will be paneled to listen to all the evidence against you and Chris, and they will decide at that time if there's enough evidence to prosecute you or to charge you with first-degree murder. Okay, and first degree is premeditated, planned murder. All right? That's what's going to happen in a short time. You'll be held without bond. You're not going to be able to get out. Okay, but you will be at the Martin County Jail. So you will be able to receive visitors there.
Will I ever be able to see Chris again?
I doubt it. You're not going to be able to see him in the jail because they segregate the men and the women. And I'm not sure about court. I don't know how that's going to work. But in the jail, they segregate you guys. I doubt, you know, unless you see someone like cross the yard or something. I can't answer that once you get there. But I doubt, at least in the short term. I don't know about the long term, but in the short term, I don't know, you know, if and when this goes to court. Certainly you're going to see him.
What about my baby?
I don't know that either. That's going to be up to the Department of Children and Families on how that's going to work and whether they allow visitations with the moms and stuff. I can't answer that, and I don't want to tell you one thing and then the other thing happens. So I'm just going to tell you I don't know. That's going to be up to them. All right. Do you have any questions? Other questions for me? No.
Can I just take a bite of my baby one more time?
I'll check and see if that's possible. I'll ask, but I don't know the answer to that either.
In May 2010, Christopher Tomlinson was convicted of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and poisoning. He was sentenced to life in prison plus 60 years. His mother, in a vain attempt to defend her son, later claimed that he snapped due to his time in the army, Nicole's influence, and overwhelming stress. That same year, Nicole Thornhill initially insisted that Chris had forced her to take part in the crime. However, she later accepted a plea deal for second-degree murder and received a 50-year prison sentence. Despite being the intended target of the murder plot, Kristen pleaded for leniency on Nicole's behalf. This case is a haunting reminder that trust can be shattered, and the people closest to us can sometimes be the most dangerous. But was Nicole's sentence commensurate with her crimes? Please share your thoughts on this case in the comments section below. Also, like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such content.